What is up, ladies and gentlemen? John McClain here with the City College Times. We are doing our first podcast in the building today. I am here with Alex. What is up, Alex? How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm pretty excited for this podcast that we're going to do right now. And this was actually your idea. Why did you want to do these podcasts?
Previously, I was looking through the last couple of semesters, and I don't think the last couple of semesters kind of got the student voice out. And with podcasts, that's a great way to get the student perspective rather than just through articles. And I know like the students just see the articles and just some pick it up and some look at the website. But this is a great way to actually hear our voices and hear our perspective of San Jose City College.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great idea. So I was like, my hand was up. I was like, I'm doing it too. Yeah, so you know what? Let's get into this. We had a few things we wanted to talk about. This Wi-Fi, first of all. A lot of students, or some students that I have talked to, they have complained about the Wi-Fi around campus, saying that it comes in and out, it's not fast enough. I've done the speed test, and it's about 25 download, which is not that bad.
It's not bad.
Exactly, and especially when other students are using it, and I'm still getting 25. It's pretty good.
So a lot of it is just a lot of need, and everyone trying to ping the servers at the same time. And everyone is usually using the Wi-Fi in the library, and it can't handle 30 students at once.
Exactly, and I've used to be in the technology committee, and one of the reasons was because the whole infrastructure that they have is really old, and they have to redo everything, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So the people in charge back then, they weren't really into
like tech
and all that. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
People not into tech in Silicon Valley?
I know, right?
Well, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny. And another thing is all these new buildings that went up on the campus of San Jose City College, that blocked a lot of the Wi-Fi signals. So some places you don't get it, especially the student center. You think you would be able to get it, right?
How often do you use the Wi-Fi? Is that something you rarely use, or you just primarily go to the library once in a blue moon and then...
You know what? Once in a blue moon here. I don't do a lot of my studying here on campus with the Wi-Fi, but especially when I first start school, looking up my web, doing all that, I'm on the web a lot. So especially for new students coming to the school, it might be a little bit of a headache, like, oh, I can't get a signal. It's just a stress. So hopefully, I've heard rumors that the school is on top of it. They're looking to make it fit to its name.
They're trying to modernize the school.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to do.
I'm just going to let you stumble. Get
Here
around
I go. He's watching me fall down the stairs right now. All right, well, let's get into something else that I would kind of briefly talked about. So before, the old staff, the old faculty, they were really kind of old school. They weren't really into technology, so they didn't really think about upgrading the internet or things of that nature. And now we have new faculty, new staff, and it was just like in and out. People were in and out, but we have a new president. It looks like he's doing pretty good. The school had some issues with the whole accreditation, but all that's looking good. I mean, what's your opinion on, say, having all these people coming in and out, always having someone new?
So my general consensus is that if I knew about the accreditation and all these problems leading into it, I probably wouldn't have chose San Jose City College. But this isn't really a bad place this is actually a pretty good place for learning. And I love the math program. I love the technology center, even though it has some flaws to it, like we said about Wi-Fi. They still haven't done a good job of like getting in front of the issues. Yeah, I still I'm not sure how the clubs are, how connected are the clubs to the students. It feels like those are two different areas or two different divisions. And yeah, that's my general feeling about how the students interface with the city college. It feels like there's more of a working community at City College than at potentially Evergreen and De Anza.
Okay, yeah, and that goes into what I was talking about, how the staff is always coming in and out. Well, we've had like 3 advisors in the past 3 years as well, so everyone's getting to know how to do everything. What are the policies? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it's been like a uphill battle for quite a few years. And the whole accreditation thing, there's like a rumor going around that, if you got your degree at San Jose City College, it's not going to be valid. right?
Yeah.
And because of accreditation. Well, that's not actually true. And going to what you were saying about the education that you get here at San Jose City College, that accreditation, I looked into it a little bit. It wasn't about the education. It wasn't about the teachers or anything like that. So any last words on that?
So, like, how long have you been at City College?
Oh, man, I've been here for quite a while. I've always came and, I've taken 1 or 2 classes, and that would be it. So I've been here for, I would say, like the past 4 years, just taking 1 or 2 classes because I worked full time and I kind of just threw in some classes. I did some night classes.
How has City College changed since you've been here, since 07 or 08?
Well, I went in 05 for a little bit.
Okay.
I went to Evergreen in 2001. What has changed is, for me, a lot of the amount of students here on campus. I remember when we'd have an event and there would just be piles of students out there. And now I go out there to an event and there's like no one there. I hear crickets and,
Yeah, there's no one at the sports games.
Yeah, no one at the sports games anymore. I remember it was a lot better. People were more, they had enthusiasm to stay here. I know that the ASG has gone through a lot of ups and downs, of course, because of the advisor and business services. There's a lot of issues on what we can buy, what we can't buy, and they've kind of weeded all the issues out, and they're just getting back into it. So hopefully the next couple years is going to be going up.
What can possibly change to sway students from going to sports games? Does it really matter about the athletes, or is it just does the school doesn't have that pride to it?
I think a lot of it is school spirit.
Yeah.
It's school spirit. Like, where's the school spirit coming from? When you go to eat in the cafeteria, I feel like I'm at a hospital. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It does look like a hospital.
Exactly. And so you don't really get that, I can have fun or I could laugh with my friends here.
I mean, the food, it tastes just like the same.
Exactly. The food, I don't know. A lot of people talk about the food. I like the food. I'm just one of those guys that likes that out of the ordinary cuisine. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I actually had some examples of maybe some things we could do. Put some wall wraps in the cafeteria of the basketball players and some awards, maybe some flags, just to create that school spirit. And then maybe some education on some, events. Or did you know that we have like some people here that have famous relatives and people that have done tremendous things?
I mean, I have no doubt. I mean,
yeah. And so I think a lot of it's communication. And just having the certain atmosphere and more events. We create those things, and I believe that a lot of more students will be attracted to this. And the lack of attention, this goes to our next topic real quick, is the lack of attention at San Jose City College. And we were just talking about how there is less students here that I've seen than the past years that I've been here at San Jose City College. It just seems like they're not coming to school anymore.
I think it's better off this year. I think last year I did showcase its face a lot. I noticed last year when I was taking stat, there was barely enough students to fill the class.
Man, yeah. And, you know what? You're right. I had 3 classes last semester. I think it was 3. And 2 of them almost got canceled because of lack of students.
I was trying to take a Spanish class here this semester, and I think they barely filled it. They barely hit the... Yeah.
And the language classes, they fill up pretty well.
Yeah, but
yeah.
It's not.
So there's a couple reasons I believe, maybe, possibly. These are just, thoughts from my head. Don't quote me. But employment rate has gone up. So maybe a lot of students are like, you know what, why am I going to go to college, just get a job? I could get a job now. Another thing is people not really knowing about San Jose City College. They always see buses with logos from Evergreen or De Anza and things like that. So what's your take on that?
I was previously a student at Gavin College in Gilroy, and I had a world history professor, and he previously had this remark about, I don't know why it kind of stuck with me, but when the economy was really good, people were actually just doing their jobs and everything else. But when student employment is down, or is really up, it's when the economy is bad. So when the housing crisis hit in 2007, 2008, that's when people went back to junior colleges, CSUs, UCs. So we're on that upscale where people are not doing that, not getting ahead. and hopefully
Yeah, hopefully something happens. You know, a lot of it can be done by the students. Well, let me tell you guys what's going on in my head before I start talking. Events, things like that, getting their attention. I think students don't realize that they could hold events. They have access to a lot of money that the student government has, and that money comes from the students. It's their activities fee and other things like you know, certain things that the ASG has, you know, whether it be a copy machine that you make copies with in the student center, you know, they make money off of that, blah, blah, blah. So that's where they get all their funds from. Most of it is the student activity fee. And I believe if students were more aware of what that is, what they can do with that money. I mean, you could hold a big event. You could have a carnival here if you just do all the work, you know? Mm-hmm. My question would be for, especially you, what do you think we can do to like get that knowledge out there? Maybe the newspaper?
I think the newspaper is for the students, and I don't think it serves the city college to get it promoted. Yeah. Even though it definitely serves that need. What I do think City College needs to do is just it needs to improve its image, and that's nothing that the students can do. It's just it needs to have some sort of stability.
Yeah.
I hate to use like a sports metaphor, but like since I'm a big 49ers fan, but and since like the coaches like, you know, John Harbaugh left last year or 2 years ago, and the Niners were really bad, and I expect that Jim Kelly's going to be really bad this year because he needs an extra year to prep his own system, get used to his own staff and players. And if he leaves 2 years from now, it's going to be the exact same rotation. I'm trying to censor myself. But my point is that it's been the exact same rotation every time, where someone comes in, changes the game, and we don't have that stability.
Yep, I agree. What I'm seeing so far, I'm hoping they're going in the right direction. They fix the accreditation thing.
What gives you that impression that they're going in that?
Well, I spoke a lot with the actual president of the college, Dr. Breland, and I've talked with the, you know, faculty and staff, and they seem pretty pumped right now, especially the new president. He's always listened. He's always been there when I had issues and, you know, complaining about this and that. And for the listeners, I used to be the student body president, and so I basically met with a lot of people weekly, you know, monthly, all the time. So I heard issues. I let them know the issues, and to me, some of them seemed really concerned about stuff. You know, some of them, they're just concerned about other things, you know, their actual work. And I think the students kind of forget that they actually have a job and they're working on a lot of stuff. And so, you know, I want to give them credit. You know, I got to give credit where credit's due. They seemed really pumped to actually listen and try to fix things. And they actually helped me out a lot. So, yeah, that's it with that. And man, they do got some exciting things going on. Let me tell you. I mean, think about it. Barbecue pits behind the cafeteria.
See, like,
and things like that.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that they're planning and they want to do. They got a lot of construction going on. So, and we got the new cafe. KJ's. Have you tried it?
No.
Have you been in there?
No, I'm one of those students that leaves community college as soon as I can.
Exactly. Okay, so that's a great point. So what would keep you here?
Honestly, it has to be about there has to be a certain event that makes me stay.
Okay.
Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, they just don't seem to promote the sports at all. I don't even know who the athletes are. I mean, last night, no, it was on Tuesday, they had was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was March 1st. March 1st, they had an art festival and nobody came. It was just a couple of adults who were supporting an artist. And it was kind of like, oh, this is cool. But it felt like there was no student involvement.
Yeah, not at all. They tried to have a dance once, which I was totally against. I was like, this is not high school. Like, there's no alcohol or anything like that. And I'm not saying you need that for a party, but that's a big attraction to a lot of the students here, especially the older crowd. And there was no one showed up. It was kind of sad. But I'm like, oh my gosh. So basically, I got a couple things planned. I've already got some TVs approved to put into by the info desk and in the cafeteria, where I would put the sports events, when, where, and how you could get there on those TVs, and basically a lot of communication about the school, things that are going on, because we don't have that. Like, how do you know? And it's sad that a lot of students, they don't read anymore. They don't read books, and the newspaper's there, but it's like we could only do so much, and so much information with the timing and all that.
Like with news today, most people get their news from social notifications.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really, really awful for business. I don't know how newspapers are going to survive in a climate like that. It's mostly been features and opinionated columns. That's where Fox is totally gone. Not to go on that route.
Yeah.
But it's tough to generate stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And okay, so another thing that people don't know about probably is this KJCC, Real Campus Radio. We're utilizing things at the school, and a lot of students don't realize that they could use so much at the school. There's cameras, there's the radio station, there's all kinds of things. You could go get your hair cut at cosmetology for extremely cheap price. And I think that's one thing that...
Yeah, like I've been here for a year and a half, and I just found out about it a year. This semester, I'm like, what? You've been here? What?
Yeah. So, what did you? The station or the cosmetology?
Station.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people, when they walk by, they just think it's like a closet or like for a storage room or something of that nature. Yeah, but we recently got our speaker back, so all of them out there could hear us right now. Mm-hmm. So everyone walking by in the right outside of the cafeteria of the student center, if you're listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a quad area where everyone kind of eats. So we got a speaker out there, and the school's actually paying attention more to the broadcasting and those things. And I'm pretty pumped for that. I'm pretty pumped because we can do things like this. We can have our podcast, and we're gonna have these a lot more. So
maybe bi-weekly.
So check them out. We will be on YouTube and wherever we can find a place to put this. We'll leave links,
description
in the description.
It'll be on the school website on Thursday, or next Thursday, or on Monday.
Exactly. Check us out. And if you're on campus and you see a campus newspaper, pick it up. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, where can they find these newspapers?
In the school library, basically anywhere. We spread them out pretty much everywhere.
Exactly. If you want to know more about the City College Times, you could check us out online at SJCC Times.com. Once again, that's SJCCTimes.com, and you could find contact information.
Twitter is SJCC Times.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot more stuff. So, I mean, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about some good stuff, some issues here at San Jose City College. We're going to talk about some good stuff going on, some events, and
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, we just want to say, remember to pick up City College Times.